everyone, and welcome to the Golden Hour. I am Goldyn Duffy, your host, and I have a serious treat for you today. I'm so freaking excited about the guest that I have today. So today I have with me Diane Depreta-Johnson. She is one of my closest friends and someone that I really regard in the idea of fun. I mean, she literally walks around and has fun wherever she goes. And we're very similar in that way. And because of that, we've created Fun Fridays, which we've done almost every Friday for like the last 3 years. So it's kind of incredible that we've taken a part of our lives, we've tuned into fun every day, and we've decided to do this. So I wanted her to come on today. She's amazing. She's a former teacher. She tutors. She's incredible with children, and she brings to life an energy that I wanted you all to experience so that you're not just seeing our pictures on Facebook. If you're not following us, our Fun Fridays are hysterical and people love watching the ridiculous stuff we do. So please help me welcome Diane Joy Depreta.
That really is not my middle name.
I love it. It should be. It should be. Thank you for being with me today. I'm so happy to have you on here and to share the energy that we get to create together in this life.
Thank you so much. I am so happy to be here too. And I love our energy. It just makes me so happy. It's
right. Do we not look forward to Fridays like their life?
Yes. Thursday, I start texting, it's Friday Eve.
Yeah. Sometimes on Wednesdays, she's already thinking about it. So let's talk about how Fun Friday was founded. So give me your rendition of why you even wanted to do that.
Well, part of it was because of a sad time during 2020.
Yeah.
It helped me recreate my schedule. And all of a sudden, I could create and have Fridays off.
Yes, because you were teaching full time, right?
I was teaching full time, and then I became a tutor when 2020 happened. And I set my own schedule, and I kept Fridays open. And we were meeting periodically to talk about things that we wanted to do to help others. That's probably been our thing since the beginning.
Yeah.
And then we started meeting on Fridays, but it wasn't consistent. And then it just became consistent because I think we looked so forward to it that it became a necessity. Would you think it's a necessity at this point?
It's a total necessity.
It is. I mean, I don't think I can live without it.
Well, and this is the magic of taking something in your life and making a commitment to it and saying, okay, this day is going to be for fun. And you can do it once a week. You can do it once a month. But I wouldn't go any longer than that, because if we're not having fun, what's the point of life, right?
Yes, absolutely. And it's a sacred day for me.
It's sacred.
I'm sorry.
And we have had others join us. We actually have 2 other ladies that join us pretty frequently. And I love the energy of all of us. One of the things I've noticed, and just for those that don't follow us on Facebook or Instagram, Fun Friday is we beach, we shop, we bike, we lunch, we do whatever we really want. But that's mostly what we do. We try on clothes, we get ridiculous, we take pictures, and we share. And I think the energy of where we go and what we do, we kind of bring other people into it. So it just one hysterical thing happens after another. And that's what happens when you tune into joy and fun, right?
The shop owners.
Yes.
The people that work in the stores and the restaurants become part of our show. So I feel it makes me happy to think that we are making others laugh. That's my favorite to do. So making somebody laugh and enjoy their day.
Yes.
And also help them realize that they want this in their life as well. Totally. I have so many people tell me that they want to do what we do.
So what would you say to people that because people do that, they'll go, oh my God, I love what you're doing and I wish I could do it too. What kind of advice could you give to people for them to be able to get over that hump from not knowing what to do or when to do it to actually doing it? Because we made a commitment. We made a solid commitment, and we said every single Friday that we're here. If we're traveling, we don't do it. But every single Friday we're doing this, and really not a lot gets in the way for us.
Right. Rarely anything.
So what would you say to people?
For people, I think it would be, sometimes the timing is not there.
Yeah.
We put in our time and our dues with raising kids.
Yes.
To get to this point where it would happen. But for me, the biggest thing is calling it in, asking for it. If you want it, ask for it.
Yes.
And then,
I love that.
that things happen when you do. And I think before I met you, I asked to have more fun people in my life. I believe that's one of the things I've asked for. And then we met.
Yes.
And it was like the instantaneous clicking, and everything just flowed. It just flowed. It was not pushed at all.
So I've shared before on other shows, but I'll just say I met Diane at an open house. I was looking for a house, and she just palled up with me, and she took me to like 20 different houses, and I felt so bad because I was like, oh my goodness, she must think I'm so picky, right?
No, not at
and
all.
Finally, I remember when we found my house that I'm in now, which was like one of the greatest miracles, one of my favorite manifestation stories. And I will never forget walking out, getting out of my car. And I felt like this house was too much money for me, but we negotiated and it ended up working out. And I remember you walking out and you're going, I think this is the one. And I was like, because there was no pictures on the MLS. So I'm like, you think, really? And when I walked in, my entire body got the chills.
Oh my
and
God.
You just walk into sunlight.
Yes.
The house is like so bright. And I just remember thinking, this is it. And I knew so surely. And you fought for me. You did everything you could. And I was like, okay, she might be a friend. Like, I think I'm not going to let her go. Like, she's not just somebody that's going to come out in and out of my life. Right.
Right. No, I did. I knew what it meant to you.
Yeah.
So
And that's
when
who you are. You're very compassionate and you really, really think of other people. And I think that's part of what runs the joy in your world is that you're very considerate.
Thank you. Yeah, I try. I'm sure I failed quite a few, but I do. I really put myself in somebody else's shoes. I would not want that to happen. Or here's what I would do if this was my child. I have to always think.
Yeah.
I'm that person.
Which makes you an incredible advocate for parents, for, kids that are struggling and for people in general in life, right? Like if we don't care about people, what are we doing? Like relationships are so important, right?
It's all we have. It's all we have. The only thing we can do is help each other to get through life.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
totally
that's all we can do. And that's why, and I think something too, that's really important to me is I accept help.
Yes. You have to receive.
Have to receive.
Were you always like that? Or did I teach you that?
You know what? It was maybe a little before somebody had said to me, it was a book about being able to receive even a compliment. Because when I thought back on that, I thought, oh my gosh, if somebody says, oh, you look nice today, I'd be like, oh no, you do.
You deflect it.
Pass it back. And I'm like, no, I have to say thank you.
Yes.
And I compliment others, but when somebody compliments me, I now just accept it.
1000%. Because if you can't receive, then you're just always giving, and that's how you get depleted. Yeah. Yes. And it's also feeling worthy of those compliments.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
And there needs to be a balance, and I think I do that. I think I like to do more than actually get.
Yes.
Right. I mean, I really do, but I've come to kind of get it towards maybe a 60-40.
Yeah, there you go.
Instead of just giving,
Yeah.
I'm okay. Like, hey, that's cool. Go ahead. I'll accept your gifts. And guess what happened when I started accepting gifts?
Yeah.
Started getting free things in this world.
Yes. More came.
So it was really cool.
That's great.
And again, I said, I want fun friends. I want to have more fun. I want to laugh. That is my goal in life. And I think that's when you came in. And the more I can make anyone laugh, the more I make you laugh. I mean, it's a high.
It is. It is.
I love it. I'm addicted to making people laugh.
So let's talk a little bit about that, like the frequency of it. So because we intend to have fun on Fridays, and honestly, you could do this for an hour. You could do it for 2 hours. You don't have to have an entire day, although
we've had to, right? We've had to do it. Like you're so good at
We do our
because
minis.
you've gone away
Yeah.
and you're leaving that day at noon, but we'll go out for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I don't care. We're going to have a little bit of fun time. And you're so awesome about that. I really appreciate that.
I know, because we got to like squeeze it in where we can,
Yeah.
right? But because we set the intention and we decide that we're going to have fun, a lot of times our fun Fridays, we have to get back to this because I think we got away from it a little bit, starts with jumping, right? Like,
yes.
And like whenever we have people with us, they're like, oh, really? Do we have to jump? I mean, sometimes I'm like that. My knees hurt. I'm like, do we? But when we start jumping and trying to capture pictures like that, we have had more laughter over pictures that we capture than anything else.
Yeah.
So when you start in that trajectory,
yes,
you get on a vibration and then the universe just reflects it to you with funny people, with funny situations.
Yes. Cats named Friday.
Cats named Friday. That was ridiculous.
How's that happen? We've had animals come into our lives. You know, people. Yes, we expect fun. Is that part of it? We are expecting it, so we get it.
Yes, it's
Whatever
a very
you get
lighthearted. It's very lighthearted. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about how Diane Joy Depreta gets herself ready for the day. Like it's, life can be a lot, right? Like life comes at us and we have all these moving parts and we've got to like figure out all these things.
Yes.
What do you do? And I know you have a group on Facebook. In fact, I'm going to put up your little banner here for Facebook, so that if people want to follow you, you should definitely follow Diane, because she does this uplifting thing that is just absolutely amazing and puts up really positive posts every day. And she does have a group on Facebook. So if you follow her, you'll find out about her group on Facebook, where she teaches you these daily rituals and how to be committed to something that's actually going to make your day better. So share what you do. What's your rituals?
Okay. Well, it started, just to go back a little, I think I've always been a positive person.
Yeah.
But, things can definitely get you down, and, you come back, but there's that voice and that critic in your, that I really, I wanted to, I don't know if you could ever get rid of it, but I really wanted to tame it and get it on my side.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I wanted to train it. And listening, I listen to a lot of different people, read a lot of different books. But one of my favorites is Wayne Dyer, and something he said stuck with me from over 10 years ago. He talked about it being a daily habit. It is not, it's something like you can't brush your teeth once a week and expect good teeth. You can't eat once a week. These are everyday things.
Yeah.
And when I would have a day where I would do it, it would be a good day. And if I had a day where I didn't, all of a sudden I'm like, wait, I don't feel so happy. So I'm like, okay, I need to make something daily. So I really committed to this.
Yeah.
And it was also during probably one of our hardest times of our lives, with 2021, really, the summer of 2021 really got me to a low point. And
it was challenging.
And I needed to rise to that challenge.
Yeah.
And I really pushed myself hard, because it knocked me down. So I really came in, and I think I read something about 369, where you write your manifestations 3 times, then 6 times in the afternoons, 9 times at night. And I tried to do that. There's a lot. My arm was very tired. So I just kind of made up my own thing and added to it, moved things around, learned about somebody new, so added that in. Basically, it is a morning and night time. So it can be 5 to 15 minutes in the morning and about 5 to 15 minutes at night. Another Wayne Dyer saying is, the last 5 minutes before you go to sleep, you can program your mind. So I want to leave my mind in a positive way just before I fall asleep.
Yes.
So skipping to the night, and this is on my Facebook page, I do a lot of I am grateful statements and think about everything I'm grateful for. And sometimes I repeat the same things, and a lot of times it was, wow, this happened today. But I am constantly looking for something to be grateful for. So that also keeps me in a high vibe. And then I'm going to sleep on that. And then when I wake up, I'm sitting down right when I wake up, I sit down with my journal and I write about uh, it's positive I am statements. And I
Love
am, again, is one of those positive statements that whatever you say after, or actually it could be negative, whatever you say after I am is who you
Yeah.
are. So
Yes.
if you want to say I am something negative,
Yep.
then that's who you are or what's happening. But I am only going to say positive things about myself or
Yeah.
any situation, especially with my family, my kids. I'm only going to say positive. So I write my positive statements, and then I have a few other things I do. It takes me at least a half an hour every morning, and I think it's pretty spiritual.
Yeah.
If I had to say any one thing, it was. It's positive, it's spiritual, but it totally grounds me. And
Mm-hmm.
day, now things can happen
Yeah.
in the day. I mean, and they do.
Yeah.
They do. But I will spin it into a positive scenario.
Yeah.
Or, so, well, maybe that happened because something better is going to happen. It's always in a positive spin, but it's because I was grounded from the beginning of my day. And it's
Yeah.
day. So it's every single day. Uh,
Yeah.
that's
You're
it.
preparing your frequency, you're preparing
Yes.
your vibration
Just
to
tuned in.
see life in the best possible light, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
And I
good.
want to be there. I do not like feeling down.
Yeah.
It's, it, it's not my happy place, and I want to be in a happy place. And I don't mean like I have to walk around like so excited and happy every single
But
second of
you
the
do.
I
I
guess
think
I
the thing that I hear you say the most is, "I'm so excited." Like, we went and got our teeth whitened, everybody. Yeah. We got our teeth whitened, like this all natural teeth whitening place. And she texted me the day before and she's like, "I'm so excited." And I'm like, "Okay, let's get excited about teeth whitening." I mean, they came out great.
they did.
To be
They did.
excited about, but like to have that vibration and frequency and set a foundation for yourself.
Yes.
A lot of people will say, "Oh, I don't have time to do that in the morning." I always say, like, if you say you don't have time to meditate, that's like saying you don't have time to look for your keys to drive to work. Like, it's such a like you said, it's like brushing your teeth. And when this becomes such an automatic behavior, you have trained the mind to no longer talk you out of things that are going to expand and grow you and make you a better person in the world.
Yes. And everybody has time. That is, everybody
You
has
always
time.
get up earlier. You can
I
always
get
go to
up
bed
earlier than
earlier.
I'm supposed to, so I can do this because it is that important to me. Now
We
there are,
make the time, right? We make
yeah,
the time for what's important.
you know what? Yes, absolutely. And sometimes I'm up late,
Yeah.
get woken up in the middle of the night, which can happen, and I oversleep.
Yes.
Well, I'll do 5 minutes instead of
Yes.
30, but I'm
Yes.
going to do it. And
Yes.
the parts of it I may do in my car driving to my students,
Yeah.
but I'll still do it. And
Yeah.
I'll make sure there is not one day I can be on a plane. I take out my journal and I write.
Love it.
I
Love it.
won't, that is a no negotiation.
Yeah.
Right?
So it just becomes part of you. And because it's part of you, I mean, it's that foundation that's
Yeah.
so important,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So what do you do when you get down?
Oh boy. Okay. I'm way better off at
Besides call me.
I,
We are good for each other. And I
yeah,
would
yeah,
say, find a friend that's uplifting, that's not just going to sit there and complain with you, right?
yeah,
That's going to help you
yes.
shift, because we do
Yeah.
help each other shift quite often.
Yeah, you have to be sympathetic, but then you need to go, okay, that's cool, but let's turn it.
Work on the solution. Yeah.
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 Oh my gosh, that's it. That's the
Yeah.
huge part, I think, is the solution. I am very solution or
Yes. Oriented.
don't
Yep.
I do not like staying in the problem. It's like that's
Yep.
and it's funny, that was one of my teachers, my master teacher. I don't even know she knows she did this for me. Natasha Rios in Lake Forest Elementary. She was probably in her mid-20s, just innate how to be a good teacher. She
Mhm.
learned so much from her. But she said, you do what you say and you say what you do. But I mean, she just talked about like the way to treat people
Mhm.
and how to do things was so perfect. She was a really good role model for me. Um,
Isn't that interesting? Like how sometimes people can say something and it just sticks with
oh,
you.
stick with you.
And then it becomes part of your identity. It's like, well, this is what I want to this is what I want to emulate, you
Yeah.
know?
And that
Yeah.
was 2007. So we're talking a long time ago.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah, I don't want to stay down. I don't want to be in the problem. And that, again, that's sorry. What she was saying was, um, if a student came to her and told her a problem. Now, remember, we're teaching first, second, third grade, so there's a lot of problems that happen in a student's life. But that's the problem. What's the solution? That's
Yeah.
what she would say. That's the problem. What's the solution? So
Love it.
she's training the kids to think about, well, what can you do to fix it? And they, after a couple months of learning this, they were better at it. They didn't come to the teachers all the time.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't come naturally to us.
No, you really have to teach kids these systems.
And adults.
and adults.
And ourselves. We have to retrain ourselves, right? How many teachers did we have that said that? None, right?
Yeah, it's a daily basis. It's a daily workout. But one of the things I do, I really love, and this goes back to, if you are feeling down, depressed, sad, whatever you are, when you do something for somebody else, whatever it is, whether you give something to somebody or give, it could be clothes, it could be compliments, it could be helping volunteer your time somewhere. Those are the best things to do, right? It lifts you up. So when you do that for others, when you're down, best thing to do. So when I do that. But the other little things, I think I shared this with you. I call it, I bless others.
I love that.
So I want to get in a higher vibe, and I need to do it fast. I'm driving from one student to the other. I can be worn out or whatever, something else happens. It's not, not necessarily my students, but something's happening in my life and I'm down, and I just, well, as I'm driving, I'll be like, I bless you, I bless you, I bless you, to everybody that goes by me.
Wow.
Everybody. And then by the time I get to that next house, I'm like, oh,
I feel good.
I know when I walk into that next house, I need to be 100% for that next student.
Totally.
I cannot take them down. I need to lift them up.
Well, what you've done is you've interrupted the frequency of low vibration, and you've raised yourself to a place of gratitude.
Right.
That's amazing. I love that.
It's my favorite thing. And once in a while I'll forget. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. And it just feels so good. And
you can do it anywhere, anytime.
Anywhere, anytime. In the airport. I will do it. I just, because, why not? Because isn't it great to be blessed?
Totally.
To bless others. So, and we all have that power.
No, absolutely. And that's what you were talking about right before that was there's actually like a scientific thing that's been proven. It's called the helper's high. So you actually get high and you get like, all those wonderful hormones that download in your body, like dopamine and serotonin. Right. And then because you help other people feel good, then there is that reflection, and then you've uplifted the world. So it's such a good practice to do that. I love it. And blessing other people. I've talked about like being in traffic and doing that, which I learned from a Buddhist monk. And I was like, yeah, you got to be a Buddhist monk to do this. Like to have somebody cut you off and be like, I bless you. But you have to be in the right.
Yeah.
You have to be in a good frequency to do that. If you're angry and frustrated, we see a lot of road rage these days. I see a lot of people flipping out on strangers. I'm like, how do you get so upset at a stranger? They're not. It's just underneath everything that they're trying to carry around. So when you have a foundation like what Diane's doing every day, you're at a different vibe. So things are going to hit you different. Right. You're going to respond different. And when you respond different, you create different. So that is so cool.
Yes. Yeah. It's really, and it helps me. The bottom line is it boomerangs right back to me. Just come.
Hello. Yes.
So it's really, it's amazing. So that's my favorite. And I love feeling happy.
I love that. So, so one of the things I wanted to talk about with you, because you are my yes girl, so I can call her my yes girl, because I can ask her to do anything. Like I just asked her to do this show, and she kind of gave me this look, and then she was like, yes. Like she just like so think about it for a second, and then she's like, I have to say yes. So like living your life fearlessly and allowing yourself to do things that are like way outside your comfort zone. How do you get from that fear to just doing it? Are you programmed now where you're like, I'm doing it and you don't really question it? Or do you still have that little bit of, oh, I don't want to do that?
Ooh, really good question. Uh,
Yeah.
probably a little of both, but
Yeah.
there's, you know, if you're a type of person that you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. And if somebody tells you you can't do it, does that make you want to do it more?
Yes.
You know, you're,
That's exactly how I operate. I'm like, well, I'll show you.
okay. So there's a little bit of that, right? There's
Yep.
probably a lot of that in me.
Yes.
So I will have to do it because like I'm going to do it. No,
Yeah.
how dare you tell me I can't? I'll prove it to you, right? That type of thing.
Yep.
But yes, a little bit of programming now. I'm much better at it. I don't want to miss out on, and it's not a fear of missing out. It's not the FOMO thing. It's just I want to live my life. I
Yeah.
don't want to live in fear. So
Yeah.
I can't let that stop me from doing things. And so if I can go back a little, after 9/11, I had a huge fear of flying and didn't fly for quite a few years. And this is after I worked in the travel industry for 10 years and flew all over the South Pacific and Asia.
Wow.
No problem at all. Then I had my kids 2020. Wow. 9/11 happened. They have merged in my head in a lot
Yeah.
of ways.
Yes. Yeah. The trauma, right?
Yeah, the trauma that we all experience from both. But I probably didn't fly for 4 years, and then really had to push myself. And on the plane the whole time, I was praying, and we'd get 5 hours in the plane, and we'd get somewhere and land, and I'm like, "You're welcome, everybody."
I carried this plane, people.
I did. And if there was turbulence, my gosh, I was down. But
Yeah.
now my son went away in 2016 to play baseball in Houston.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? Are you going to miss this?
Yeah.
Or are you going to go? Are you going to live your life? And I
Yeah.
started flying there at least once a month. And I think that really pushed me over it. And I wanted to go back to Connecticut to see family. I had to push through that. And Florida, I'm like, I can't live without doing this. I wouldn't be living.
Yes.
It wouldn't be living. I'm not
totally
going to be shut in, and not have a life.
And it's gotten easier now that you've worked through it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes,
I forgot to mention that we were both from Connecticut, which is crazy.
Well,
That was also another thing we bonded over is we
yes,
grew up pretty close to each other, like within 30 minutes.
we did.
Yeah.
We were very close. And that was one of the things when I saw your phone number. I'm like, oh, she has a Connecticut number. So I pre-liked you.
Yeah. Pre-liked me for my 203 area code.
But yeah, no, definitely a lot in common. And your daughter's back there where I sometimes see her in Connecticut.
Which is awesome. So as far as like the fear of flying goes, I have helped a lot of people with this fear of flying. And the basis of it, right, is like the fears that we have are because we don't have faith and we don't trust.
Yes.
And we're kind of in expectation. So we talked about the radio station. It's like tuning into a radio station where everything that comes over the broadcast makes you feel scared, right? Like that's what you're tuning into when you tune into fear and not trusting. Now, all of us could get in our car, and I'm sure many of us have, and I know you have an experience with this where you get into a car accident and then you have fear that you have to overcome if you want to get back in that car again and be part of society. I mean, driving is part of society, right? Yes. So all of us get in our cars, and every time we get in our car, if you don't have unreasonable fear, you trust that you're going to get to your destination.
Right.
And you can pre-pave it. You can see yourself arriving to your destination safely. I know you do that sometimes, and we can do that when we're on a plane. Yes. But the reality is, if you're not in faith and trust in life, every freaking thing can scare you.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Right?
And it's bigger than us.
Yes.
Really, bottom line is I have no control over anything.
Except the way you feel and respond.
Yes.
Which is what determines your experience, really.
True. Yeah. I expect to see the good in the world.
Yeah.
Yes. No, my fears, I think, are coming down quite a bit. But yes, I did the caves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mentioned you actually on my last show,
Mm.
I think it was, and I was talking about how you just had a memory pop up of, so you have had a
Yes.
fear of being in enclosed places, and
Yeah.
and I make fun of you for it, but it's
Yeah.
all in good fun because we're having fun.
They make fun of
If
me too.
you're walking down a pier with Diane and she gets a little too close to the edge, she will grab you like you are her grandmother. Like she will grab you like you are her lightsaber. And that's when I think I realized that you really do have this like real fear. Like it's not something that you just get attention for. Like you have this real fear. And
Yes.
so as you have worked on this, you all of a sudden the other day you had something pop up from your childhood. Can you share about that?
It was, and I don't know why it popped up, but I was in a movie theater in Stamford, Connecticut with my dad and my brother, and a, a fire broke out and we all had to evacuate. And it was really hard to get out. I don't remember a lot of details, but I remember my dad like grabbing us and pulling us out,
So
going
that
down
fear.
the aisle,
Yeah. Yeah.
and kind of finally coming out. But you know how crowded the aisle would be at that point.
Yeah.
And I didn't really remember that. And something popped up, and I was like, oh, maybe that's why I have felt sometimes claustrophobic, because I don't want to say I am that word because
No.
I don't want to embody it. Now, I will avoid elevators like the plague, but I
We
always look
will
at
we will walk a lot of stairs for
I do
Diane,
a lot
or
of
we will
stairs.
meet her up there.
I'll see you there. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm not kidding. I've gone 12 flights in New York.
Well,
Not to
and
get
I wonder if there's like an elevator, actual elevator, because we talked about this the last time we were together in Palm Springs, and I said, was there something on an elevator that gave you evidence that elevators are not safe?
good question.
So
I
there may be another memory about to pop up. I
Yeah,
always think memories pop up when we're ready to process
yeah,
them and we're ready to let them go.
yes.
So you
Yes.
can look at that fear and go, "Oh, that's my," how old were you? Like 9?
Oh no, I was like maybe 4, 5.
Okay, so that's where your belief systems are
Yeah.
set. So you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that was my 4-year-old belief system. I'm not
Yeah.
that 4-year-old anymore."
No.
So I know that movie theaters are safe. You have never
Right.
felt unsafe in a movie theater, have you?
No.
So
No.
you carried the movie theater thing to the elevator somehow.
Somehow I did.
That feeling of being trapped.
Yeah. It's not a great feeling.
But
But
you don't let it stop you, and I
I
think that's the message here.
no, there's no way it's going to stop me.
Yeah,
No way. And
yeah.
I have one more little memory. We were up in Spokane watching Tyler play baseball when he first got drafted, and they had those little carry you get in the little ride and you go out
Yes,
in
yeah,
the of high wire.
yes.
I stood there for like 20 minutes talking to the girl who was running it, asking all kinds of questions. And finally, Josh is like, we don't have to do this. I'm like, no, we have to do
I'm
this.
doing it. I'm doing it. I'm getting it up. I'm getting
I just,
myself
I
psyched
just
up
have to
for it.
prepare myself.
Yeah,
And so that's what I do. I prepare myself and I try to make jokes of it, but
and then you just do it.
I do it.
Yeah,
I do
I
it.
love
And,
that.
uh,
So
yeah.
speaking of Tyler, so I didn't mention Diane is a wife and a mom of 3 amazing children.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Tyler a little bit because, I'm guessing that's like one of your favorite manifestation stories and like the signs that went along with that. But share what your son does and a little bit of the journey that got you guys there.
Boy, he is okay. He loves baseball and he's played baseball all his life. He was always on all-star teams and played through high school. Uh, he didn't get a lot of playing time in his senior year of high school for reasons unknown.
Yeah.
And
To make the desire stronger. I always
yeah,
told you that.
yeah,
To make
yeah.
everybody's desire
Well,
stronger
you
sometimes
know,
when stuff like
yeah,
that
to
happens.
build his strength,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I believe that, and I definitely believe it was for good. That's another thing that's important. We have to
Yeah.
circle. I always believe something is for good.
Yep.
It's for their good. So he left high school not having a place to play, and one of the days now this is he graduates in June. It is now through the summer. He's signed up for college at one of the local colleges where he wants to play, but now they're full.
Mm.
So he is signed up, and it's probably September to early October. and he was playing for an amazing mentor of a coach, Coach Ray, and he had a game on a Sunday. He always played on Saturdays, but he had a game on a Sunday, but he worked Sunday morning. So I remember this so vividly. I walked into the family room. He was sitting there, and I looked at the schedule. I said, Tyler, you have a game on Sunday. And he goes, yeah, I know, but I have to work. And I said, no, don't worry about work. You have to go to this game. And I'm like, why? At the same time I'm like, why am I saying that? But it was literally like someone was like, make him go, make him go. And I'm like, okay, you have to go to this game. Like, and he's looking at me like, what's your problem? And finally back and forth. And I was like, Tyler, go, I'll pay you like you're working. Just go to this game. I mean, I was so adamant, and I knew I was a little freaky. Like, I was like,
yeah,
you know, and I don't know why.
That's when they're like, okay, mom, fine.
just
crazy lady.
Yeah, leave me alone. And so I went to his game. He did go, obviously, and I went to his game, and he had an amazing game. I mean, at bat and in the field. And I was like, wow. At the end of a 3-hour game, I'm sitting there and I'm like,
why are we here?
Okay, that's all right. That was weird. And I drove home and I'm like, what was that about? What's my problem? And then he came home about half an hour later with my husband, and my husband said, Tyler, tell your mom what happened. I'm like, what happened? That the coach of the other team said, I have a good friend who coaches at Goldyn West College, and I want you to go try out for them. I'll get you in there. And he did. And this guy was the son of Cal State Fullerton coach. So really big baseball people.
Yeah.
So he went to Goldyn West, tried out, got on, ended up winning Golden Glove for the West Coast, and then got heavily recruited to play baseball, ended up accepting Houston Baptist, which is a whole nother manifestation story that this time you're part of. And he got drafted into the Texas Rangers.
Amazing.
Yeah. So it was pretty, I mean, I feel like no matter what, something's going to happen. Like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But I was so like, I was pushed.
You knew.
You have to go.
Yeah. And that's why it's so important to listen to those intuitions and to place ourselves in that foundation every day where we are open to receive those messages. Because if you're always in your monkey mind and you're just like running around, you're not going to be listening. You're not going to hear that voice as strongly. So I think part of your morning routine is why you are so good at listening to that voice and moving from it instead of just, saying, oh, whatever, he's got to go to work,
Right.
And that's when miracles happen, when we listen to our intuition.
Yeah. And I love it. So, and I ask for it too.
Yep.
I'm asking for signs.
Like,
okay, was cool.
What was that? Remember that one time I saw the home run license plate, and he had did he just hit a home run, or it was like
no. So, sitting in the stands in Houston Baptist University, and he's up to bat, and now it's the end of his senior year, right? So it's like, oh gosh, is it? Yeah. So I'm in faith.
There is that trepidation though of like, is he gonna get picked up, right? Yeah.
Yes, but I'm in faith, and my whole thing was, gosh, he's so fun to watch. It can't be over.
He's so good. He really is good. I don't really like baseball, but he's really good.
Thank you.
My husband says all the time too, like he's really good.
Thank you. So I appreciate that. And he just, I was sitting there and I was like, oh, I texted you. I'm like, oh, wish for a home run, or no, Tyler's coming up to bat. Send some good vibes.
Yeah.
And you send me back a picture of a license plate in front of you, correct? And it's a home run for you.
Yes.
And I look at that and I look up and Tyler's hitting a home run. I'm like, okay. Thank you again.
You can't make this stuff up.
No.
I swear you can't, for the timing of things. And I get signs all the time, and that's what makes life wonderful and wondrous and brings us to awe of the fact that there's not just this here. Like we're not just physical beings. We have this energetic world that we can tune into.
Yes. And help us. I mean, my gosh, how can it get better than that? I mean, think about it. That's fantastic. I'll take all the help I get and be guided. I mean, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And
But you have to know that you're not
yeah,
doing this alone. And that's part of
yes,
that morning routine that you do, and inviting it in and being aware
yes,
and expecting the good and looking for it.
yes,
I love
yeah,
that.
100% of
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
100. That was another thing, though. You were just reminding me you were a part of a sign. It's funny when you ask me about manifestations. I'm like, you kind of go blank, and I'm like, wait a minute. The morning I'm walking in Newport Beach, so 2020, and we rented the house, the beach house, and he had gotten let go because 2020 they closed 50% and closed their stadiums. So I'm saying I'm taking my morning walk and I'm having this full conversation with myself about, I want a sign that it's, he's going to end up with another team and that things are going to be okay. And I let it go. That's another thing too. You have to let that
You have to
go.
let it go.
I
Yeah.
did, I couldn't force it, but I asked for specific signs. I did not, I asked for specific, I let it go. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. And you came over around 2 or 3 in the afternoon and you said, and you gave me my sign. I'm like, I don't even know what else
I
you said.
remember.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe you just said that because that's what I asked for. That's
Yes.
exactly what I asked for, and you gave it to me.
Yeah. Yeah. We've
It was,
been connected in that way for each other for sure. But
yes,
it's being aware of the fact that we have this available to us at
yes,
all times, and
yes,
then being in expectation of it. But like you
yes,
said, letting it go so you're not holding on so tight. So you're not, because when we hold on to things really tight, we're actually in the lack of them.
right,
When we let them go, we're more in trust and faith.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and you can't be so tied to the end result. It's like that story about like I want a car, I want a car, I want a red car, I want a red car, but
Yeah.
gorgeous blue car shows up, and you're like, no,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
just be open. I'm open to the end results. For
Absolutely.
anything that gets me close to that is good.
Exactly.
Good.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the other things that we can do to feel good. So I know you're really into feng shui, and you've done some things for some people, and you'll even go in and move people's stuff around in their house to,
Yeah.
there's a whole philosophy behind feng shui. For me, feng shui is I don't follow any of the rules, except I do have a water fountain in the front of my house that brings the money in the door.
Yeah. Yes.
I
Yes.
do have that.
Yes.
Other than that, I've studied a little bit of it, but for me, feng shui is just things being in a place that make me feel good. That's what feng shui is.
That
Not
it.
blocking
You.
windows, not blocking
Yeah.
doors, making sure that there's an open energy field and I don't have clutter around me that's going to, they say often that your house is a reflection of your mind.
Yes.
So if you, and it's funny because I have a daughter, my youngest daughter, oh my goodness, I could share pictures of what her room, you pointed to her room, what her room used to look like. And she was going through a really rough time. She was super depressed. Her life was really unorganized. And now all of that is cleared up in her room. It's like you're walking into an angel's room. Like her room
Feel it.
is so, yeah. Oh my gosh. You have to see it. It's like she's just got so many beautiful things and it's all organized. She has an altar in front of her window.
Oh my
And
God.
it's so conducive to what she's done in her mind to really clear her vibration and bring
It's
herself to a better
wonderful.
place. So
It's,
share a little bit about what feng shui is to you and what you do with that.
I mean, it really is what you just said. No clutter.
Yeah.
Clutter. I'm working on my closet right now. Uh, I need, it doesn't have to be perfectly clean, my house in general, but
Yeah.
I need it to be uncluttered
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
everything in its place.
Yeah.
And it just, it brings me happiness
Yes.
and you feel it. Like I cleaned my closet in the last week or so.
Yeah.
And boy, do I feel that. I could be
Yes.
out just somewhere random and I'll be, my closet's clean. I could feel it. Like it
Yeah.
hits.
Because
So
it's
yeah,
not weighing on you. It's not weighing
right.
on you as something that you have to do. What would you say to people that kind of struggle with this? Like, what are some tips that people can do to kind of keep that energy in their home? Like I have a zero tolerance policy myself. Like I
Yeah,
do, I do straightening every day,
yeah,
10, 15 minutes of just putting things back. I always put things on the stairs that need to go up the
yes.
stairs. I wash, dry, fold my laundry pretty quickly. I don't have laundry baskets. I put my laundry on the table and I fold it and put it away,
Yes.
because
Good.
if I at all put my clothes in my closet, not put it away, and this happens to me sometimes,
Right.
before I know it, there's a
Ye-
mound.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. I think, little bits and pieces, even
yeah,
like try to do maybe 10 minutes a day, or
yeah,
I'll do one drawer in my bathroom, just
yeah.
clean it out. And but it's such a good practice.
It really is.
Yeah, just I think just tackling, but it makes a difference.
And
So
getting rid of energy, right? Like energy that you're not using, or,
yes, and then it opens me up for new. And
yes,
yeah, you talked about how we shop on Fridays.
yes,
So there's been some new clothes, but now I feel really good about giving my old clothes away.
yes,
Now that brings me joy
yeah,
because I'm getting new clothes and feeling good. So there's a circle to that, and I
yes.
really
Yeah,
like.
I actually talked about it in my last show. It's called the vacuum law. It's like
Okay,
letting things
okay,
go so you can bring
yeah,
in new energy. And when we're not holding on to old energy, we're also in a level of trust and faith and being able to receive.
yes.
Yeah.
And
So
then what else do I really love about feng shui? Yes, it is. It can do different things, but I think you said it the best when it makes you feel good.
yeah,
That's huge. It's like somebody. I read this and I love it. It's like acupuncture for your home.
there you go.
I love that. I thought,
Yeah,
yes, it is. Because when I
yeah.
walk in my house, especially, the other thing to tell somebody, do one corner. So my garage is a little bit of a
Your garage is
spot.
crazy. I
Well,
thought my garage was crazy. Your garage is crazy.
it
My
is.
garage is crazy organized. It just has a lot of stuff. Your
It is. And we don't
yeah.
have minutes here.
Yes.
So
No,
this
we have very low on storage.
we
Yeah.
have no storage in California. So I did one corner of my garage feng shui. I just did that corner, put in the things that should be good in that space that would help me. And when I walk in the garage, you may see clutter, but I see that one spot.
What you focus on expands.
And so that makes me feel good. And then where I do my morning routine is probably my favorite room. I love my couch. I put on my salt lamp in the morning. A salt lamp doesn't need to be on all day. It just,
Yep.
I put it on. It gives you the good energy. And you know
Yep.
what? That's what I believe. So guess what? Good energy is coming,
Totally.
right?
Yep.
And that's where I do everything. And then after a little bit, I turn it off. But that is my space, and I love it. And my dogs are there. Who, for me, dogs show such unconditional love that
Mm.
I feel like when I'm there with them, my vibration just kind of shoots through the
Yeah.
roof.
Yeah. You're bathed in unconditional love.
They're just amazing, and they always sit with me when I do this. So
So that's the thing that I want to just touch on with feng shui is it's the belief
mhm.
and the intention behind it. It's
Yeah,
not necessarily the exact process of feng shui, but
right,
it's when you look at something and every time you look at that thing, you're like, oh, that is a sign of my abundance, or that is a sign of my unconditional love.
right.
You are placing yourself in a frequency where you bring that to you.
Yes,
I
yes,
started thinking about this recently because, we're getting older. I'm 50. You're amazingly, I won't say. But you're amazingly older than I am, and, not maturity-wise, we're both about the same age maturity-wise,
I'm 5.
but I started thinking about, like, my face and how, like, and my body, because 'cause I've kind of shifted this recently, and we've talked about this, but I realized, when you look in the mirror,
Mhm.
like, if you're constantly looking at your wrinkles and, "Oh my god, I'm so old," and there's such an epidemic in this country of people with Botox and plastic surgery and people just not being happy with their looks, and I'm okay with that, like, I'm okay with changing yourself, but being hyper focused on not allowing a wrinkle on your face, I think is detrimental,
I
right?
I
So I
agree.
started thinking about it and I got this kind of new face lotion and I've been doing some colloidal silver and I'm like, God, my face just feels so good and I look so young. And I was like, oh my goodness, like those are the things I should be saying to
Yes,
myself
yes,
every day.
yes,
Right. And like, I love my body. I'm in great shape.
yes,
So everything you're saying right, is being
Yeah.
reflected to you. So
Yeah.
if you can shift that in any way and be a little kinder to yourself.
Yes, be proud of yourself. Be proud of your accomplishments. Be proud of yourself. Acknowledge. Like we manifested uh, a sauna, a two-person sauna in
Yes.
our. Okay, now we have it in our garage. Wow, we did that. Like
Yes.
take ownership of it. We did that. How does that
Yes.
happen? How many people have manifested a free sauna? You know, I mean, take ownership of it. Things are happening, and it's like be proud of yourself.
Take the
Acknowledge
credit.
I have okay, I'm not perfect. I don't ever care to be perfect, but I'm not. But you know what? I think I look really good for, and I don't even want
I
to
know
say
you don't want to say for your age, but one thing I like recently let go of was like, I'm done trying to look 25.
I don't care. I
I
don't
don't
care if I
care to
look good
be
for
like,
me.
yeah, that attainment of trying to
Yeah,
attain my
right,
younger, thinner self
right.
is a ridiculous pursuit that just
Yes.
literally takes me out of joy every day.
That is not where our best is either.
No, no.
25. I enjoy getting older. I really do. I enjoy
Yeah.
getting older. And I enjoy fighting through. And this goes back to, oh, don't tell me what I can do, right? There's no rules. I don't have rules.
Well, and I feel like as
Long
we've
hair.
gotten right, as we've gotten older, we're a little freer and
Yes,
we're really not too concerned, obviously, with what people think about us.
true, true.
We'll like literally break out in a dance in a small coffee shop if the
I,
song is good, like the
I
two of
was going to send you that video. Yes, we will. We will. And we don't care. And you know what?
us.
People with us. We don't care. We'll whatever. Just have fun. Stop
And
worrying
I
about
think yeah,
what.
and I think that's the beauty of being our age and letting go
Yeah,
of that, whatever people think or whatever. It's like it's not important anymore.
right.
I love
It is.
that. That's the best thing about getting older, I think.
I, I agree.
Yeah.
And you know, the no rules. Obviously, I don't do anything to hurt other people, but if I see a trampoline when we're riding down the beach on the bikes, I might get off my bike.
I did not. You definitely will, and I did not join you in that pursuit because I thought it was madness. Maybe my knees hurt that day. I don't
I think they did. I
Yeah.
think yeah. So we'll do whatever we can. When it's probably not a good story because this is thing you want to tell your daughters to do, but that golf cart.
Oh yeah, we got on an old man's golf cart. I thought about this the other day. So this guy like rolls up to us and he's like, "Get on, ladies." And we're like, "Sure." So we get on his golf cart and he literally takes us over to Balboa Island, which is like you have to get on a ferry. And I still to this day, because we hang out down there a lot. This is
Yes.
in Newport Beach, California. We have never seen him again.
No.
And to this day, I don't think he really existed.
No, I know. Because it was really funny. Because when we turned around, he was there. I'm like, oh, our ride. And then
I
he's like, get on.
And he's like, "Yeah, come on. You guys going to Balboa? I'll take you." And it was like one of the funniest things we've
It
ever
really was.
done.
I just
Yeah.
remember getting off the ferry and I'm on the back, right? We were on the back of
Yes,
the
yes.
golf cart facing backwards. And he's driving us off the ferry, I said to the guys on the ferry, I'm like, remember our faces.
If you see us on the news, remember this guy. But they did know him. I feel like they knew him, so we were
They
safe.
did. They
Yeah.
did.
They
Oh yeah.
but never saw him again.
You know what? I did that in New York with a similar situation. I was looking for apartments for my daughters, and this was 2021. And I
Yeah.
went up, looking outside of an apartment, and I knew there was one for rent in there. And this man walks out, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, "Excuse me," and of course they're like, you know, because people, obviously, but I
Yeah.
sat and talked to him for like 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes or so, he realized, who I was. And I felt safe with him. And he's like, you want to come up and look? And I'm like, okay, again, things I would never let my daughters do. But
Yes,
when
yes, yes.
I did, and we are friends to this day. I bought him
I love that.
breakfast. We're friends. We communicate all the time. He's one of my favorite people
I absolutely love it.
just
Yeah.
by doing those type of
Well,
things.
and that's also, it's reading energy and it's
Yes.
trusting and
Yes.
it's knowing that you're in the right place at the right time with the
Right.
right people and
Right.
he was a great resource during that time, right?
Yes.
Cool. All right, so we've got about 1 minute left.
God.
What can you say is the most important I know this flew by, right? Like time flies when you're having fun. What is the most important thing that you can leave people with that like is you gotta do it? You got 1 minute. You gotta do it.
You got to do it. Face your fears. Don't live in fear.
Yes.
Get your faith up. Get your faith up as high as it can. Do a daily. Join my Facebook. It's free. I
Yes.
just do it because I think it's a really good system, and it has changed my thinking. I'm thinking probably 90% positive at this point.
Yep.
Of my negative times, but I recognize it and will go up. But yes, definitely have a daily practice, workout, eat well. I mean, the normal things, but
yeah. Join Diane's group, because she's going to tell you how to do this every day, and you'll be able to be accountable. And I think that's one of the most important things.
True.
So thank you, Diane Joy Depreta. Love you so much. And follow us on Facebook, because we're hilarious,
You'll
right?
see
At least we think we are. You know, this is our signature move when we take pictures. I love you so much, and I'm so happy you were here. And
thank you, really.
Yeah. And keep making the world a better place.
I will do my best. You
All
too.
right.
All right.
Love ya. Bye.
Hey.